Hello, friends. I'm here with Mackenzie and Nina, and today we were talking during workshop about just this whole idea of how reading and writing are kind of blended together into one thing. And a lot of times when we think about workshop, we have a separation there where we're doing readers workshop for maybe some certain block of time, and then writers workshop. Um, and a lot of times we also have a reader's response journal or something of that nature, and then a writing notebook. And we think of our writing time as being okay, so now it's time to get out our writing notebook because now we're writing. Um, and we just started talking about how they both seem to go together. Doesn't it feel like they both?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about like reading and writing and them going together as one thing? What do you think, Mackenzie?
Well, like it's easier when you have a book because like you can kind of like steal stuff from other, like from the book,
Hmm.
and you can like be inspired by it, so your writing's better.
Yeah, it gives you inspiration. It
Yeah.
makes you have a certain feeling, doesn't
Mhm.
it? What do you think, Nina?
I feel like reading and writing really goes together a lot because, well, when you're reading, it's something that has been written in one
Yeah,
place,
that's true. Yeah,
and
yeah.
all it is it's just like a book, and you're just like reading it, and then you just think of something like that you see in it, and then you're just like, maybe I can do this.
Maybe I can do it too. And so, friends, a lot of the things that we were talking about have to do with kind of melding these two together into one. I think that Lester Laminack has, and a lot of other people, but I'm just using him as an example, has the right idea here in his book "Writers Are Readers," where we're looking at reading through the eyes of a writer, and the way he puts it in the book, we're flipping it. So we're looking at it from the perspective of a reader, and then we're flipping and seeing what craft moves the writer did to lead the reader to where he wants he or she to go. So that's a great read there if you're looking at this kind of thing. So one of the things that we talked about is how it's kind of cool to have notebooks with us all the time, even during our reading time, so that we can collect these ideas and these thoughts. Um, these two, Mackenzie and Nina, you guys are reading. What book is it that you're reading?
The Girl Who Drank the
The
Moon.
Girl Who Drank the Moon. We hold that one up and show everyone. And this is by
Kelly Barnhill.
Kelly Barnhill. Very good. Okay, and you're both reading that book, and I read it, and then we kind of have talked about it a little bit as you've gone along. So, what kind of value? We'll start with you, Nina. What have you found with your notebook? Keeping your notebook by you, can you kind of lead us through and show us some things that the girl who drank the moon has done for you while you're and you have show them your other notebook. You have a little mini notebook that you carry around, don't you?
I have this notebook when I just like read stuff, because sometimes I can steal from authors, and sometimes as I'm reading, I just have like thoughts in my mind about what I can maybe write soon.
Hmm. So, do you have? Can we start with this one on some random thoughts or some random things that maybe you came up with as you were reading or just going through your life and you had your notebook with you?
Well, some things I thought in my story I could write was maybe there could be like a king or a queen or
Ooh.
something like that. Um, I was thinking she could like only get paid in certain ways.
Ooh,
Like
what gave you those?
not as money, but like as just things.
Ooh, okay. So, what gave you that idea? Where did you?
I don't know. I felt like if she got paid in money, it felt too much like life, and I wanted that place to feel not as like life.
Oh,
I
right.
wanted it to feel different.
So you're delving into you're really looking into the fantasy genre, right? Whenever you're talking about those things, and so I think you had mentioned to me a couple ideas you jotted down that you actually got from the girl who drank the moon. What were a couple of those that you found and you wrote?
Well, in the girl who drinks the moon, she drinks the moonlight, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But then she drinks something that's really powerful. So I thought I could have my character drink something that she didn't mean to.
Okay. Oh, just by accident?
Yeah.
Ooh, I love. Yeah, I love that idea. So it's kind of the same idea, but you're making it your own, right? I really love that. Um, uh, guys. In Stephen King in his memoir on writing, he talks about when he was 6 years old and he first became a writer, and the way that he did that he started out, with imitation, and then just grew. And I think in some ways we're always imitating, to some degree. This is just a great practice for us to put in place to where, again, just to kind of reiterate, to where readers workshop and writers workshop, it's all just kind of it's just workshop. We're breathing in, we're breathing out, we're taking in, we're input, output, that sort of thing. Mackenzie, can you share maybe some of your writing and talk about just the value of your notebook and your writer's notebook and where you got some of these ideas? Could we start with the tree? Before you read it, tell us where you got this idea for the tree.
I was on Google
Uh-huh.
and I was looking at the images and I saw this tree and it was like a gigantic tree and it was just like they had no leaves and it was like outside and it was like it looked like it was winter but it was like all foggy, like that feeling when you just like you don't want to go outside.
So kind of dark and
Yeah.
scary a little bit, that kind of thing. Could you read that for us? Could you share it?
Outside my house is a tree, a gigantic oak tree. I don't know why, but that tree gives me a weird vibe. I know you're probably thinking it's just a tree. This tree isn't an ordinary tree. It's been here ever since we moved in. I've heard rumors going around that someone died buried beneath the tree. In the middle of summer, the tree has no leaves, but in winter, its leaves start growing. Almost like that tree feeds off of sadness, or maybe even fear.
Wow. Okay. I really what I really love that you've done is it almost sounds like poetry at the same time. It's got this uh, tone to it that it's almost like you're just talking to me. We're just having a conversation, and you're telling me all about the tree and all about the feelings that it makes you have. And it's pretty cool that you got that all from an image. So with her writer's notebook, she sees this image on Google and she writes down, "Hey, I'm gonna do this about the tree." Now, when did you do this actual writing? Was this an assignment that I gave you? Did I say we're going to write about trees?
Free write.
During free writing. Okay, so you had the choice to write about anything you wanted. But did you see the tree picture while we were in class, or
No, I saw it at home a couple days after.
a couple days before?
Yeah,
you mean?
before.
Yeah. So before you saw that, and then you were able to bring that into your free writing. So friends, that's another thing that's so powerful about these notebooks and about things like Nina's carrying this around, is that she's just jotting down these little notes, these little things, and this goes for us as adults, as well. And then you also had an idea that you were able to get from The Girl Who Drank the Moon. Could you share that with us?
Yeah. The girl. She isn't your typical girl. She's special. Her eyes contain the universe. A crescent moon. She was abandoned, taken away from her parents. Her mother screamed and begged not to take her daughter away, but they didn't care.
Wow. Okay, so what you did there is took the novel that you're reading, The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and you just kind of the feelings that it was making you have, you were able to put that down into poetry and create a poem out of this book. Friends, it's amazing. Again, and I know I've talked about this several times, but free writing, free writing, taking reading and writing, melding it together. If you're unfamiliar with writer's notebooks, or you want to know more about writer's notebooks, this little book by Ralph Fletcher is awesome to use as maybe a read aloud at the beginning of the year. You can introduce this when you're introducing notebooks. For you, again, Ralph Fletcher, Breathing In, Breathing Out, pretty good place to start. There's a million different books, but I like this one. I also like another one of my favorites is Amy Buckner. It's called Notebook Know-How. And this is pretty amazing. Strategies for the Writer's Notebook. So these are really good reads. But if you can't pick these up, if you just don't have the money right now, or whatever the case might be, don't have the time to read them, Just know that the main thing is that we have a notebook, and we are emphasizing that it's a place to really just collect ideas that we get from life, not just from when we are doing, writing time. So hey, guys, thank you for taking some time out of they took time out of PE today, just a little bit of time to come here and share, and they chose to do that. So I think that's pretty awesome. Thank you for sharing with everyone. Tell them bye.
Bye.
Thank you.